stay away from Mountain View, and mostly they did. Mountain View's informal lending library, conveniently located next door to a bank, comprised almost 200 books. The Town 9 baseball team held regular practices. Participants planned to test their skills at this newfangled sport under game conditions just as soon as an opponent in another community could be found. A bowling alley in the back of the camp feed store provided additional opportunity for the recreation-minded. Proprietor Hope Camp was also the Mountain View mayor. In between resting wooden pins by hand, he chatted with customers about the telegraph lines that had recently placed the town in instant communication with the outside world. With more silver strikes reported in the area on a regular basis and 3 more full-scale mining operations, soon beginning operations, Mountain View's potential was unlimited, and its pleasures already plentiful. Yet Cash McLendon hated being there. The woman he loved was the reason. Years earlier in St. Louis, McLendon had courted and won the heart of Gabrielle Tirrito, who ran a small general store with her immigrant father, Salvatore, in a downscale factory district. But when McLendon's employer, rich industrialist Rupert Douglass, offered him the opportunity to marry his daughter, Ellen, and eventually take over the Douglass empire, McLendon accepted. He had grown up as a poor orphan in the St. Louis slums, and the lure of wealth overcame him. Broken-hearted, Gabrielle moved with her father to the small prospecting community of Glorious in Arizona Territory. After Ellen's suicide, knowing her father would blame him, McLendon fled St. Louis with Patrick Brodigan on his heels. He made his way to Glorious, hoping to reconcile with Gabrielle, only to find her virtually engaged to Joe Saint, the soft-spoken town sheriff. Caught there by Brodigan, McLendon escaped with Saint's help. After many more months on the run, he ended up in Dodge City, Kansas, and was thrilled to learn that Gabrielle, now living with her father in Mountain View, had not yet married Saint. They exchanged letters and agreed that McLendon would come there. Gabrielle would allow him a final chance to change her mind. To pay for the trip, McLendon signed on to a buffalo hunt that ventured deep into Indian territory. There, at an outpost called Adobe Walls, he fought in and miraculously survived an epic battle where 30 white men held off nearly 1,000 Comanche, Cheyenne, and Kiowa. Chastened and matured by the bloody experience, McLendon used most of his money for train and stage passage to Mountain View, certain that he would win Gabrielle back from Joe Saint, who also lived there. But 10 days after his arrival, it was obvious that he shouldn't have felt so sure. From the time Gabrielle greeted him with a hug and chaste kiss on the cheek more appropriate for an arriving cousin than a lover, things were awkward between them. They weren't meeting as equals. Gabrielle controlled their future, whatever it might be, and McLendon soon realized that she had no intention of making her decision quickly. Gabrielle worked as the receptionist at the fashionable White Horse Hotel. It was managed by Major Mulkins, who had befriended McLendon back in Glorious. Mulkins generously offered McLendon a small room at no cost while he was in town and allowed McLendon to share the staff's free meals in the kitchen. Without any immediate financial concerns, McLendon could devote every waking minute to Gabrielle, but she had other ideas. Her work hours were long, from dawn to dusk on weekdays and half-days on Saturday. Sunday mornings, she played piano during Catholic services held in the barn behind Tim Flanagan's livery. During the services, Flanagan's horses and mules were tethered outside. Gabrielle's father, Salvatore, now ill and bedridden in the room the Tirritos shared on the hotel's second floor, occupied much of her attention, and when she was free, Gabrielle insisted on spending just as much time with Joe Saint as she did with McLendon. All I